Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, I've got some great emulation news for you. We're talking about N64, PlayStation 1, Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo 3DS. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation on PC and Android with Mikage. Mikage is making some great progress. Here's Rayman for the 3DS up and running, being controlled by Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I'll leave a link to this video in the description below and I highly recommend checking it out. It is from the official Mikage YouTube channel. And the gameplay on this one looks incredibly smooth. So Mikage has implemented gamepad support. They support the Switch Pro controllers, DualShock controllers, Xbox controllers, and a bunch of others. And yes, they'll still have touchscreen support on mobile phones. They state here they keep finding small ways to give them an edge to Citra, so whatever inputs you use, expect a few pleasant surprises. At this point in time, Mikage has not been officially released, but things look to be shaping up incredibly nicely for this emulator. And speaking about shaping up nicely, next up here we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on Android with Skyline. Now yesterday we talked about Skyline twice. The first time was about their massive update, and the second time was about a fake version of Skyline that surfaced on the Google Play Store. At this point in time, Skyline is not on the Google Play Store. The developers are working on it, but it's nowhere near at that state. And there are only two places to get Skyline. The first place here is at skyline-emu.1. The second place is right on GitHub, not on the Google Play Store at this point in time. This version of Skyline is the fake version of Skyline. It's the imposter. And if for some weird reason you don't believe me, check out the official Skyline Discord because Mark, the lead developer of Skyline, completely confirms this. And speaking about Discord, getting back on topic here, the official Skyline Discord now has a channel called Drivers. If you have a Snapdragon processor and you want to try some different GPU drivers, you absolutely can, and you can find them all here. And like I said yesterday, the performance for this new version is astounding, even if you have a lower powered device. BlazBlue Central Fiction is running at 60 frames a second. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is booting. Someone has Cuphead running at 120 frames a second on a Snapdragon 778G. And someone has Devil May Cry 2 running at 30 frames a second on a Google Pixel 2. Hyper Light Drifter is running at 60 frames a second. And we did talk about this one yesterday, but someone got Attack on Titan 2 running at 30 frames a second. And interestingly enough, someone decided to do a temperature comparison between Skyline and Agnes while playing Hollow Knight, and Skyline was running about 10 degrees Celsius cooler, which is a huge margin. Now yesterday's video about the huge update to Skyline was version 1289, and since then we've got two new versions. 1300 is the latest version as of this video, and if you're using Skyline you might want to update to this version. Next up here, this one is pretty quick. We're talking about N64 emulation with M64P. M64P has been very active lately, and it just got a brand new build. It was just released, and with this brand new build there may or may not be some performance improvements. So they say here, performance improvements for games that make heavy use of TLB addressing, for example Indiana Jones. On top of that, they have some small timing connections which does help improve overall emulation accuracy. If you want to check out the latest version of M64P, I'll drop a link in the description below right to their GitHub. Now last up here, and definitely not least, we're talking about PlayStation emulation with Duckstation. And Duckstation is getting a very interesting update. At this point in time, Duckstation is still very much alive. Stenzek does seem to be focusing his efforts over on PCSX2, which I'm absolutely fine with, and Duckstation is receiving more or less maintenance updates. This latest one here is great news if you're on Mac. I mean, all three items here have to do with Mac, so if you have a Mac, you might want to check out the latest version of Duckstation. This is very good news for you. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Let me know your thoughts about anything we talked about today in the comments below, whether it's Duckstation, M64P, Skyline, or Mikage. Just let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.